We need a BMF ranking. UFC, please have a BMF ranking.
Yeah, you're right.
I love that.
You got to work your way up.
Yeah. Can we please have a BMF ranking so we can see it? Actually, I don't even know if it's UFC. Can we get the fans to do it? Because UFC's rankings is fucking all over the place.
You heard it from the BMF champ himself. Max Holloway said he wants the fans to make an official BMF rankings, and I accept. Now, the BMF rankings is way different than the pound for pound rankings, alright? In order to be a BMF, there's a few things you gotta do and a few things you gotta have. First off, one of the qualifications is it's almost impossible to have a boring win. When a BMF is winning the fight, when they're in control, it's exciting as hell because they're going for the kill. Another thing to note is just because you are athletic or genetically gifted, whatever, you look like an action figure, you're scary looking, that does not make you a BMF. You could look like the Hulk, but if you just hold people down, sit on their leg and hump, you are not a BMF, alright? You gotta be looking for damage. Like we said, you always gotta be looking to finish the fight. Another thing people gotta know is this too. Just because you're a champion, that does not make you a BMF. You could have won that belt by point fighting. You could have won that belt by stalling. It's more about how you win than how much you win. You know what I mean? The true number one BMF right now is a fighter who beat a lot of your favorite fighters recently. He's got a lot of aura. He's got a lot of hype. This is our current BMF right now, Ilia Topuria. He knocked out Max Holloway in round 3. He knocked out Volkanovski in round 2. And he knocked out Charlie Olives in round 1. Some people say, hey, Ilia Topuria had tons of advantages in those fights. Maybe. But the fashion in which he finished those fights was unbelievable. The combinations he landed on Max Holloway to knock him out, being the first guy to knock him out. The non-stop pressure and confidence he had against Volkanovski and put him out with the left hook right hand. Incredible. And the way he beat Charlie Olives, we all knew he was going to beat Charlie Olives. But the fact that he moved up to lightweight, got a second belt, and now there's a potential Islam Makhachev fight on the table. He's still undefeated. His Spanish walkout song's pretty badass. And every time he knocks you out, he throws a rose in the middle of the octagon. Now that's BMF type shit right there. Next up on the BMF list is the guy who told me to make this list. He won the BMF belt officially on UFC 300, Max Blessed Holloway. He pointed down at the ground with 10 seconds left and knocked out Gaethje, like I just said. That was the craziest moment on one of the craziest cards. He was champion. He was on a 12-fight winning streak before he fought Poirier for the second time. He whooped Kelvin Kattar and taught him how to box during the fight. He was lifting up Brian Ortega's hands and telling him to block punches during their fight. He was the best boxer. He was screaming that, but now Ilia Topuria is the best boxer. But Max Holloway has a style that's just non-stop pace, non-stop cardio, non-stop pressure, non-stop volume. He doesn't stop hitting you even if they are pepper shots. But now he's actually got some pop in those shots. Moving up to 155. Great idea, Max. Now you got power. You've been dropping Gaethje. You've been dropping Poirier. So Max Holloway is definitely BMF number 2 in the rankings. Now speaking of UFC 300, do you guys remember who main evented that? Poatan Shama. Alex Poatan Pereira. He literally carried the whole UFC for 2024. His cold stare. He would just mean mug you down. He's one of the only 3 fighters. It's John Jones, Conor McGregor, and Alex Pereira to be introduced by Bruce Buffer as the one, the only. And don't forget, last year all we heard was one word and one word only. And that was Shama, okay? Think about it. Ilia Topuria knocked out Volk and Max. But Pereira was still Fighter of the Year in 2024. That's how much aura this guy had. I mean, he created a rival right when he arrived in the UFC. Him and Izzy were rivals. He beat Izzy, then he moved up because he lost to Izzy in the rematch. Then he won and earned a title shot at light heavyweight. Had a couple title defenses. Lost to Magomed. Now he's going to fight for the title again. The rest is to be seen, but man, We can't wait to have this guy back. And ever since he took his little break this year, he hasn't been fighting much this year. His last fight was in March. The UFC feels lost without him. We've been missing out. Can't you tell it just feels different when the biggest star is not actively fighting? Oh, and another reason why Alex Pierre is so high up in our BMF rankings is because do you know who he beat? He beat one of our favorite fighters. He beat one of the most violent, aggressive fighters there is. This is Jiří Procházka. He's an animal. He's a samurai. Every Jiří fight is going to end by a finish. There's no other way to put it. He finished Jamal Hill. He finished Alexander Raychik. He got knocked out by Pereira. He finished Dominic Reyes. I can't wait till he fights Khalil Roundtree. Jiří Procházka is going to whoop Khalil Roundtree's ass. If he's not fighting Pereira, he's going to knock you the fuck out. If you have this guy in a pay-per-view, man, you already know you have fight of the night guaranteed. So yeah, Jiří's the most aggressive fighter I've ever seen. So he's number 4 in our list. Shout out to Jiří, the samurai himself. Alright, so far I got a pretty good list, I would say. Ilia's number 1, Holloway's number 2, Pereira's number 3, Jiří's number 4. These are all badass fighters. I think we can all agree on that. Guess who I got for number 5? He might not start 100 miles an hour, but he ends the fight more aggressive than his opponent. He picks up each round as he goes. He's technical, but he's aggressive as hell while he's being technical. Petr Yan. I'm sure you guys would have guessed anyway, because this guy, I mean, come on. How many badass fights does he have to be in? Take away that Aljo fight where he was stuck in a body triangle the whole time. This guy beat Sean O'Malley. This guy beat Davison Figueiredo. He beat Song Yadong. He just fought the other day and he fucking beat Marcus McGee. Petr Yan is untouchable unless it's Merab. Who's gonna stop this guy? Corey Sandhagen? No! Because Petr Yan already beat Corey Sandhagen. There's no one else that could fuck with this guy. The only guy left for him to fight, besides Merab, the champ, is Umar. And where the hell is Umar? What's he doing? Oh, he's busy fighting Mario Batista on a fight night? He didn't want the smoke with Yan, and there's a reason. Petr Yan will give him the pause. Petr Yan might bust him up. I love watching this guy fight. You know what my favorite move from Petr Yan is? It's that Muay Thai trip. He gets his leg behind yours, and he puts his arm right in front of your face, and he trips you. He does a push-pull, and everyone falls in like a second. That's a sick Muay Thai trip. He hit McGee with it. He hit O'Malley with it. He hits everybody with that trip. And he got robbed against O'Malley. Petr Yan won round 2 and round 3 against Sean O'Malley. I don't care what anybody says. So don't forget that. Yan got robbed against O'Malley. Add that win to his resume and it looks even more impressive. Anything else I got to say about Yan? I think that's it. His next fight should be for the title against Merab. Let's see how that goes. So that's my top 5 right now. We're going all the way to 15. But I would say that's a good top 5 right now if we're talking BMF. Who's more BMF than these guys? Now there might be one. He's going to be number 6. If you want to actually talk about who's the true BMF. If you didn't recreate one at 155 after Masvidal retired, this is the guy who holds the BMF. JDM is a fucking monster, man. He's got great boxing. He's underrated. His nose is all the way to the side of his face. Makes him look even more BMF. Now here's the thing about BMF. Let's pretend Ian Gary got a title shot and had that same performance JDM had against Bilal. Would I put Ian Gary in the BMF rankings? Hell no. Because personality and who you are also comes into play when you're talking about the BMF. It's a huge factor in it too. Ian Gary, he's a cuck. He point fights first of all, but let's pretend he put on that great performance JDM did. He still doesn't enter the rankings. That weird relationship thing where his wife controls him, and then his wife's ex-husband is his nutritionist. He's always like, yeah, it's all about rankings, man. I will never fight a guy ranked lower than me. That's not a BMF. What kind of corny shit is that? What kind of BMF cares about rankings only? That's not what BMFs do. BMFs make their own rankings, alright? That's what Nate Diaz did. That's how this whole thing got started. He had to make his own rankings because the UFC ones were so off and they were so bloated with decision fighters and stallers. Just had to make that clear real quick that Ian Gary and those type of fellas cannot make the list. No matter how good they are in competition, right? They could win 50 fights. You're still not making the list if that's how you are. Now, if you're a real one and you could fight, you definitely earn a spot in my BMF rankings. And you know who has both of those qualities? This guy's a cool ass fighter. He's bringing eyeballs to the flyweight division. He's getting the next title shot. We all know who that is. He's from Myanmar. That's Joshua Van. This guy's fighting style's badass. Even if this guy's winning, he will still throw himself into the fire. That's what separates average fighters from BMFs. Average fighters, if they're winning, they're just going to coast in round 3 or round 5. Not Joshua Van. If he's winning, he's still going to go for the finish in round 3 or round 5. He's not going to take off that last round. So Van fights like a BMF. He carries himself like a BMF. And you know he truly is if he's actually bringing light to the flyweight division. That ain't easy to do. You got to be something special to make people want to watch 125 pounds. Next up at number 8. I'm surprised this guy hasn't fought for a BMF belt yet. He's bound to fight for one eventually. This guy's a savage in there. He doesn't care if he breaks his arm. He doesn't care if he's all bloodied up. That's Dan Hooker. We're still talking about his fight with Dustin Poirier in the Apex. That was one of the best fights of all time. Dan Hooker's coming off a huge win, and it actually matters. He beat Gamrot, someone who's a horrible style matchup for him. And he beat him, and he made it exciting. And then before that, he got into a bloodbath with Jalen Turner. He walks forward like a zombie. He's almost like an Australian zombie. I would love to see him against Holloway. I would have loved to watch him fight Nate Diaz. And too bad we missed out on him versus Gaethje at UFC 313. I wouldn't even mind to see him against Charlie Olives. He's the one who made up that nickname. Dan Hooker's a savage. We need him to heal his fucking hand up. I think he's mad at the UFC or something. I don't know what's taking so long for him to fight. I think they screwed him over on his tickets. They took away his fight tickets at UFC 317. This is why we're making the BMF rankings. UFC needs to know, hey, treat these fighters great. These are your warriors. These are your gladiators. These aren't these average fighters just trying to win on points. BMF is looked as some gimmicky shit, but it shouldn't. Because even the official titles are gimmicky. Look at all the title shots we've seen this year that were bullshit. Sean O'Malley getting a title shot, please. Sean Strickland, please. Cyril Gane getting a title shot coming up, please. Yair gonna get a title shot maybe, please. And you're telling me the BMF belt is fake? Look at all these fake official title fights. This is just as legit, if not more legit, than the official title. Because we can all agree on what a bad motherfucker is. Just had to throw that out there because the BMF rankings should not be looked at as a gimmick. It should be looked at as the people's main event fighters. Your fighter's favorite fighter. That's what the BMF rankings should represent, alright? Now, next up on the BMF rankings, this guy is here because of his fighting style. Because he is that killer be killed fighter. He does go for the finish. Charles is in the rankings because you know damn well every time he fights it's oohs and ahs. Oh, he got dropped. Oh, he's looking for a submission. Charles is busted up. Oh, Charles just got back up. Now he's got him in the clinch. Knees. Elbow. Oh, brutal uppercuts. Straight right hand from Charles. His fights are full of oohs and ahs. And don't forget, he beat the big 3. I'm talking about he beat some of the most violent fighters at 155 pounds. He finished Chandler. He finished Dustin Poirier. And he finished Gaethje. Those are all fan favorites. Maybe not Chandler anymore because he's so damn annoying. But every one of those guys were fan favorites at some point. That's why Charles is going down in our BMF rankings. Enough said. Alright, so who could be after Charles? It better be a dangerous fighter. It's gotta be someone with Mortal Kombat type finishes. It's gotta be someone that talks that talk. You know who that is? New Monza, Joaquin Buckley. This guy racks up highlight finishes. He knocked out Wonder Boy. He beat up Colby Covington for us. He knows how to call people out. This guy looks like a BMF. He talks like a BMF. He's exciting as hell. He's the complete opposite of Ian Gary. He even made that narrative, Buck versus Cuck. He sold me on it. I want to see that fight one day. I hope Joaquin Buckley beats the shit out of Ian Gary. Because this guy's an exciting contender. He's looking for those Mortal Kombat type finishes. He already has one. And he's looking to rack up more. So put him in the top 10 of my BMF rankings. Next up is another fan favorite fighter who looks for knockout finishes. And his name is Carlos Prates. He looks for that highlight walk-off every time. It might not work sometimes, but when it does, man, this guy's creating ESPN top 10 highlights. He's probably the coolest fighting nerd. A lot of them are cringy and all that shit. But this guy will win, beat your ass, then smoke a cigarette and take a shot of whiskey. And the only reason he was in a semi-boring fight was because Ian Gary made it that way. All Ian Gary did was dive for a single leg the whole time. Kind of ran from him the whole time, especially in round 5. Other than that, this guy is going to show you highlight after highlight. Next up in the BMF rankings, we got another bantamweight other than Petr Yan. And no, it's not Sean O'Malley. He doesn't qualify. I'm talking about Swaggy Song Yadong. I think that's his nickname. This guy's like an old school fighter. He walks you down, throws big power punches, and tries to knock your block off each time. Yeah, he might lose sometimes, but they're always fun scraps. He put Corey Sandhagen in a war. He beat Henry Cejudo. He gave Petr Yan a run for his money. He knocked out Ricky Simone. This guy's pretty damn good. And every time he fights, you're going to want to watch him. Alright, remember how I said it's not about necessarily records, and it's not about winning. It's about fight style and who you are, how you carry yourself. Well, this is a perfect description of that. D-Rod. He's an exciting brawler. He's got his own scrappy boxing style. It might look sluggish, but it worked. It put him in fight of the night against Kevin Holland a few weeks ago. D-Rod's been in the game for a minute, so bonus points for that. And he was on a downward spiral. He hit a slump. He was on a losing streak. And he came back from that. He had a highlight knockout against Ponzinibbio. D-Rod knocked his ass out, flexed for the camera. And the cameras caught Ponzinibbio stumbling backwards, still getting knocked out, right behind D-Rod in the photo. I mean, you couldn't have scripted a better photo. So that was BMF shit right there. Those are the type of wins BMFs look for. Then he just beat Holland. He started 100 miles an hour. Rocked Kevin Holland's shit. Then Kevin Holland came back and rocked his shit. D-Rod survived. They carried on and kept scrapping. They kept boxing. That's a BMF fight. D-Rod's got hands. He scraps like a street fighter. He's got this street fighter vibe about him. I'm sure he's been in a lot of street fights. He looks like a street fighter. He acts like one. He fights like one. Why wouldn't you want to watch his style? Plus, he gets more bonus points for winning on the Unk card. He was definitely the Unk against Kevin Holland and won. Oh, speaking of the Unk card, speaking of Unks winning and beating up the Young Bucks, you know who lands at number 14? Michael Johnson. He was on the exact same card as D-Rod, and he beat the brakes off Daniel Zellhuber. He gave him the hands. Michael Johnson's turning what, 40? Damn near 40 years old, and he's outspeeding and outboxing the younger guys. He's not winning off points. He's not trying to decision everybody. This guy's looking for the knockout. He knocked out Dustin Poirier when Dustin Poirier moved up to lightweight. He beat Tony Ferguson right before Ferguson went on that big win streak. He was the first guy to rock Khabib. He rattled Khabib's chin, remember that? Then he got into a boxing scrap with Nate. Nate kind of outboxed him with the 1-2. That was crazy. I remember he got into a crazy scrap with Dariush. I think the judges got it wrong. I think they robbed Michael Johnson that fight. But coming back and being on a win streak at 39 years old, this whole BMF shit was Nate Diaz's idea, right? He said it also matters how long you've been in the game. If you're here today, gone tomorrow, you're not a BMF. Remember, him and Masvidal were OGs when they fought for the BMF belt. They've been in the UFC for years. Nate's like, this guy been in the UFC just as long as me and he's still here getting wins? That dude's a bad motherfucker. And that's kind of what I'm thinking about Michael Johnson right now. He's still in the UFC getting wins after all these years at the lightweight division too on top of it. That's a bad motherfucker. Remember his fight with Gaethje? Man, he's been in some wars. And you might say, why isn't Gaethje on this list? All I hear from him lately is a bunch of crying, whining, and complaining, and the dude's had over 3 title shots already. If Gaethje's personality matched his fighting style, I would for sure put him on this list. But his personality is kind of like gym teacher, and his fighting style's crazy. But Michael Johnson, he's not afraid to talk that shit. He's not afraid to say some words. And he does get into it with his opponents. And if he doesn't, he usually finds a reason to get into it with his opponents. He needs something to get him going. I kind of like that. It's way better than, yeah, have I ever been in a boring fight? I'm entitled for a title shot. The sport doesn't need me if I don't get a title shot. Like, bro, you've been tapped out a lot. I'm talking about Gaethje. BMFs could care less about that official title. If it comes to them, great. If the opportunity presents itself, great. But BMFs focus on their actual fights. They don't care about that little gold plate around their belly button, alright? Like we said, Jamal Hill was a champion. Dustin Poirier was never a champion. True BMFs know it's not all about the belt. Are we already on number 15? This one's a tough one, man, because I was on the fence about this pick, but after watching his fight recently, along with his crazy Mortal Kombat striking style, I had to put him on the list at number 15. The one-eyed pirate, the evil-looking leprechaun. I got tons of names for him. But after his double-spinning back fist KO, and after his fight of the night against Barry Alt, how could you say this guy ain't BMF? I know Shara Bullet hasn't fought the cream of the crop, but this guy's had a knockout of the year contender. This guy's been in fight of the night. This guy delivers. His kicks are crazy. His striking style, it's Mortal Kombat-like. He'll fight you in the clinch. He won't just fight you from long range. He can actually fight in the clinch. He elbowed up Barry Alt from in close. His only blemish is he lost a decision to MVP. Who isn't going to lose a decision to MVP? He's that fucking fast. But from what I've seen, I'm making him a BMF on my rankings because we've seen him get beat down and he came back against Barry Alt and won that fight. He did go through struggle. He got rocked. He got cut up. I didn't say these are the best fighters. I said these are the baddest fighters, and there's a difference. That's my list. Hopefully Nate Diaz and Jorge Masvidal, the originals, would approve of this. Let me know what you guys got down below. Who are your BMFs? Who's your number 1 ranked BMF? Who's your top 5? Even if you got a top 15, let me know. I want to see who you guys think are the baddest mother effers in the whole game. Anyways, make sure you hit like, make sure you hit subscribe, and I'll keep dropping. Peace.